Hey internets, it's Jake from Mini Terrain Domain, and this is Scribes and Scrolls. Wait,
I'm sorry, motion sickness.
way to be subtle about that, Cari.
Sorry.
The second we come on, you're just like, whoa.
Sorry.
I'm like, what did I screw up now?
I am very tired. I apologize. I did not.
Like we haven't had a ton of tech gremlins already.
I love you. I'm sorry.
Hey internets, it's Jake from Mini Terrain Domain, and this is Scribes and Scrolls, the Candlekeep Mysteries, Book 3, Book of the Raven. This is Chapter 29, Family Ties. And in just a moment, we will get to the recap and a little bit about the game, or into the game, not just a little bit about it. Things are going to be intense if you caught last week's session. If not, you should head over to YouTube, where all of the VODs are now available. Just a quick reminder that you can always visit our channel sponsors, Talon and Claw, by typing !MTD Claw. Check out Talon and Claw, maker of fine wooden dice accessories. Get some cool stuff for your table. Use code MTD Claw at checkout to get 10% off. And check out our good friend Keel at Run Right Play. By typing in !RWP. Keel is curating a collaborative community of collaboration. That is a weird alliteration I just accidentally stumbled into, but Keel is just a wonderful human being from the other side of the globe and is doing some pretty awesome stuff. So check out his Patreon and see what he's got going on over there. Domain dice, or rather in this game they're called domain tomes. If you look up above Jordan's head, you will see that the book club here has 33 domain tomes, and you'll notice that my limited edition domain tomes are no longer right here, but look above Jordan's head. I moved them up above the domain tomes. I still have them, don't worry. I still have all 5 of my limited edition domain tomes. I'm just getting ready to bust out a rhyme, drop a beat. And the only reason I moved them was so that for Gary I would be more gifable. Also, if in case you missed it, last Thursday we returned with season 6 of the Dawnbringers. The Wild Beyond the Witchlight. That VOD just went up today, so you can check that out as well. And what else? Go to people's channels and social medias. Lots of great stuff going on there. Check out Jordan and Dwight and Gary and Cari and all of them. Sorry, I'm discombobulated. Things got off to a weird start. I'm looking forward to just escaping into the game portion of this. So with that, let me just remind you that those domain tomes I was talking about, the players only get those if you, the viewer, subscribe, gift subs, donate through Ko-Fi, or tip through Ko-Fi, memberships, all that good stuff. And I have my maximum right now. Once I use those will be open to recontribute as well. But anyway, the last thing I want to mention before we get started here, this is a good message for myself as I'm letting myself get a little discombobulated, is that sometimes things get a little out of our control, whether it's minor things like this, or maybe you're actually struggling with something. You have something that is just a struggle for you, and you're not sure where to turn to or what recourse you have. First of all, we want you to know that you matter. Your presence on this earth makes a difference, whether or not you believe it. But we recognize that it can be a struggle. It is okay to not be okay, but what we don't want is for you to struggle alone. Know that there are resources out there for you, and we are doing what we can to make sure you have easy access to those. At any time during our stream, you can type !help and a URL for findahelpline.com will pop up on the chat. Please visit that, bookmark it for yourself, bookmark it for a friend. It's a very simple and free tool that all you have to do is put in where you are located in the world, and all kinds of help services will appear. So please do use that resource. With that, I think it's time to play some Dungeons and Dragons. So, after quite the harrowing journey trying to get to this location known as Chalet Brantifax, traveling through some treacherous terrain and dealing with would-be enemies, would-be friends turned enemies, minor dragons who were full of themselves, kobold revolutions, all of those kind of things. After dealing with all that, finally getting here, the book club here met up with a group of were-ravens, also known as a kindness of were-ravens, going by the name of the Scarlet Sash. And they are self-proclaimed protectors of the realm, secreting away evil artifacts and things like that, taking it upon themselves to do such things, and have asked the book club if they encounter anything to please seek them out. They also were sort of keeping eye over a shadow crossing that was located at this place, a gateway to the Shadowfell, in which they decided that since that's where the thing they were looking for was, that they would go there. Unfortunately, to get to the Shadow Crossing, it involved digging up the graves of the Brantifax family, specifically the grave to the youngest child who had passed away. Doc wanted nothing to do with this and excused himself to the front of the manor. While they were preparing to go into the Shadowfell, one of the were-ravens showed up, saying that they had been tracked. They followed him here, and then she was promptly killed by an arrow. And that's when Cain Mogram, a figure from Assyria's past, appeared along with some hirelings and promptly transformed partially into a bear, but was laid down very quickly by arrows, crossbow bolts from an upstairs window of the manor, where he fell into the grave and the shadow crossing. Vorn and Mizya dealt with a little bit of help, dealt with the minions at the graveyard, while Assyria and Teera dealt with a bunch of undead in the necropolis on the other side of the shadow crossing. And then they discovered Cain Mogram. Cain convinced them not to kill him, and Teera even came forward and administered first aid. But he started to say some things that were really getting under Teera's skin, and at one point it ended very tensely with Teera holding her blade to his throat. And as we rejoin this session, we see that sitting alone in the cart outside of Chalet Brantifax, looking to the left and right, is Doc. What are you doing, Doc?
Doc is just sitting on the cart. He's got one hand on the reins, and he's just waiting. Well, I mean, in theory, they'll be back eventually. I'll just keep my eyes open and wait for them.
A good a good solid 10 or 15 minutes passes with you just sitting there when you hear in the otherwise still air the fluttering of wings, and a raven lands up on the edge of the roof. You hear a couple of its caws as it calls out into the night, and then it flies down, and before it can land next to the cart, it transforms into Rennick,
Whoa.
the one who you had been speaking to before.
Hello.
Your friends are gone,
Yes.
but they are not among the dead.
No.
This is good. You are waiting for them?
Yes.
If all goes well, they should return in the morning.
How would you define it going well? What are the criteria by which you would consider things going well? Would it just be all of them returning unscathed or something else?
I would consider the condition of going well to be met if any of them return.
Oh, that's grim.
Yes. I shouldn't be here, but I needed to let you know. The Scarlet Sash is leaving this place for good. It is no longer safe.
Doc is going to look around. He's going to pause for a moment, and he's going to say, "It's a bit of a fixer-upper, but do you have a real estate agent?"
I don't know what these words mean.
Oh,
When we feel that it is safe, if we are able, we will send word to you how you might contact us. Beyond that, you may not hear from us for a while.
will you send a raven?
That seems the most likely course of action.
Yes, it's funny because not only was it true, it was also a joke.
Rennick kind of looks over your shoulder and is looking at the half a dozen or so bodies that are lying around, including that of one of their own, Vinique. I failed to see the humor in the situation.
Well, somebody once said, you can either cry or laugh. I don't know who it was. I think Mizya told me that. No, that doesn't make sense. They're kind of glum. Was it Teera? I don't remember. Somebody told me that, I think. Or was it something else? I can't recall. But suffice it to say that it's better to laugh than cry. But if you have to cry, you should definitely cry. I'm told that holding in your emotions is very bad for you. It's stifling, maybe even constipating.
Perhaps one day we will laugh again, but now we cry.
Okay, I'm sorry about your friend. That is very sad. I'm sure the other people, they had families and that would be pretty sad too. But they did shoot at us, so I'm told. Who told me that? I can't recall. It's almost like somebody told me something, but I can't remember. It's very strange. I can't remember at all. But
You are a very strange man. I like you. I hope that we meet again.
Yes, that would be not altogether unpleasant.
Hold fast until morning, and then a little bit longer for your friends. And then there's this burst of feathers, and Rennick transforms back into a raven and very quickly vanishes, blending into the blackness of the night. As he flies off, we see a single raven feather that floats down and lands next to the body of Vanique, the slain member of the Scarlet Sash. And as it touches down next to her body, the camera goes, flips over, and the darkness melts away, and we see Teera holding your blade to Kane's throat as he just steps forward so the blade touches the tip and says, "Go ahead. Kill your own brother."
I imagine Teera, for a second, it looks like her arm with the sword is going to go slack, but then she kind of like snaps it back up and steps back away from him, taking the blade away from his throat. Like, no. And then her face kind of gets angry. Like, you have about 10 seconds to prove that's true before I chop your lion head from your shoulders.
In what way do you want me to prove it? What could I say to make you believe?
What was our father's name?
It was a long time ago, Teera. I was
Bullshit.
6.
What was our father's name? 7, 6, 5, 4.
It's good you can
3.
count. I thought Dirk Head taught you better. You can count. Can your friends count on you? No, I couldn't.
Where did... You're so smart. Where did we grow up? What was the name of our town, eh?
You've gotten a little bit of a clever streak in you. It's a trick question. The village was too small to have a name.
And at this point, Teera, her arm does go slack, and the tip of her sword just falls kind of into the ash. He's like, Oren. And I kind of, at this point, like, I drop my sword. My sword is on the ground, and I just kind of step towards him.
He takes a step back.
Torin.
Nobody calls me that anymore.
That's your name. You're my brother. Torin Frostheart. That is your name.
That might have been my name once. But I'm Kane Mulgrim now. I've been for a long time.
Torin, I didn't leave you. I sent you away.
You said you'd come looking. You said ride for the coast and head south. That you'd come looking for me.
did. I would have, Torin.
16
But
years. In 16 years, you didn't find a way to make your way to the coast. Oh, wait. You did make your way to the coast, and you did head south. To Candlekeep. Yeah?
Torin, I thought you were dead. They sent the orcs, the ones. I thought they were going to kill us, but they didn't. They sent scouts after you. They found your horse. They said it was dead, eaten up by wolves. 60 miles away, 70 miles or something. I thought, Torin, you were 6. You have to know what I thought. I'm sorry. Until just recently, I didn't have any idea you were even alive. I'm so sorry. And I kind of like step closer to him again, and I like reach out and
He takes another step back.
look at your arms, boy.
They're not. He kind of raises them up a little bit, wincing at the pain he still feels from the arrows, the bolts. They're not little noodle arms anymore.
No, they're not. What happened? Please tell me. Where did you go? What happened?
He wipes away. You can see he's fighting tears, but he still won't let you get close to him.
What happened?
He takes a step back so that he can lean against one of the worn headstones, sort of almost like an obelisk that's about 8 feet tall. He glances over at Mizya, then over at Vorn. Then he looks at Assyria and Soren. What are you doing during all this, Assyria?
Sarah's probably still very guarded, but has been watching all of this with silent surprise and a little mix of horror. Just recalling what her ordeal has been like with Kane, aka Torin. She has taken a moment to think back to the day when he was chasing her and going over every detail in her head, making sure that she remembers it correctly. That his comments weren't true. I think also at the same time, though, as she's kind of mulling this over, she's kind of looking around, very aware that they're in the Shadowfell still. So like there are skeletons creeping, there might be more. So she's taking everything in, but she's also trying to take a moment to distance and kind of be aware of the surroundings at the same time.
He leans in against this monument. Do you mind? I'll catch my breath. And I'll tell you everything.
Of course. And I kind of look over at Assyria. And I am just stunned. Like you see that in Teera's eyes. She's totally vulnerable. This is something you've never seen.
And what about you, Mizya, as you're watching all this play out? Vorn, for the record, right about the time that that Kane turned, when Vorn tried to interject and Kane turned and said, "I'm not talking to you," and Vorn just said, "All right, this is your fight," and stepped back. Vorn is standing with his axe in his hand, trying to look like he's, imagine, like arms crossed, looking like he's relaxed, but you might notice that he has his fighting goggles on still. So with that in mind, Mizya, what are you doing during all of this?
I'm several steps to the rear, trying to kind of stay out of the middle of it. But I definitely have picked up my quill and my notebook from my satchel, and I'm just kind of scratching something, writing down stuff as this is playing out in front of us. Maybe eating some popcorn.
Teera will remember that.
Kane slumps down. He actually lets himself sort of slide down against this obelisk until he's sitting and leaning, and he winces again. After you sent my horse off into the woods, all I could do was hold on tightly. And you must have smacked it hard, because that horse ran for a really long time. But after it slowed down, I tried to go back and look for you, Teera. Tried. But it had started snowing again, and there were no tracks to follow, and I didn't know anything about tracking. You were the one that did all the tracking. But I knew which way was west, where the sun rests. So I pointed the horse that way, and I just rode. Sometime that night, my horse wandered along the stream and into a hunter's camp. They immediately gave me food and shelter until I could tell them what happened. Eventually, after sharing my story, I fell asleep in one of their tents. Sometime in the night, I woke up, had to go outside and take a piss. I heard a couple of the hunters talking quietly with strange words. It took me a few minutes to realize they were speaking in Orcish. I saw them talking with an Orc woman. I couldn't really understand everything they said, though I did recognize a few words here and there. When they shook hands, she got back on her horse, and as she turned to leave, I swear she looked right back at me.
What did she look like?
An orc. She was tall, very strong, but it was night, and I was 6. The only orcs I ever saw were ones that Dar traded with.
Of course.
And I wasn't ever allowed to go. I just saw from a distance. The hunters, they were nice enough folk. They said they'd take care of me from then on. Sibylla and Christoph Malgrim were their names. They said that there was a good chance that the bandits might have somehow learned my name, and they could be looking for me. So they gave me a new name. They called me Cain. They said they would adopt me as their son. They were heading south along the coastal trade routes, hunting, trapping, trading as they went. All I know is they said the coast and south, and that's where you said you'd go. So I went with them. And for the next 10 years, I waited. I was raised as Cain Mulgrim, and I learned the family trade. After a while, I started to forget what Mom and Dad looked like. Then I started to forget what my sister looked like. As I spent more and more time with them, I kind of forgot my past life. It just felt like it was a dream or a nightmare. Somewhere around the time I turned 13 or 14, I started having nightmares about that day. And suddenly the memories, they all flooded in. I remembered everything. And after that, I became angry. Started getting into fights with anybody and everybody. I fought with my parents, the other hunters, strangers. Didn't matter. I was just so full of rage. I became uncontrollable, and my parents decided that I needed to get other experience outside of the family. I was sent off to work with a man named Melchior Resha, who led trapping and hunting expeditions.
I turn over my shoulder and look at Asaria kind of quickly.
He was an excellent huntsman, but it was a front. Melchior was a spy. He was working for somebody out of Waterdeep, some elf woman he called Shadowheart. He would attach us to caravans and merchant groups traveling the high road and gather information along the way. So I learned to become a better trapper, hunter, and a spy. And Melchior taught me how to watch people, to read them. In the same way, he taught me how to read animal signs, tracks, and behaviors. I learned how to read people's expressions and listen to not just what they said, but how they said it, or even what they didn't say. He also taught me how to control my anger and to channel it, to focus my rage and only let it out when I needed it. Whenever we returned from an expedition, he always sent me home to my parents. By the time I was 16, I'd learned so much about the nature of people and beasts. I was a better man for it. I was nicer to my family and friends. They welcomed me back in. But, for all I learned, turns out nature often has plans of its own. A few months after my last trip with Melchior, I was home in our stationary camp. I went fishing with Sibylla. We spent a few hours landing salmon and river bass until our baskets were full. I remember feeling happy, for the first time in a long time. We weren't even halfway back to the camp when we heard the screams. Kristoff's voice carrying the loudest. We dropped our fish and ran back to find a grizzly bear rampaging through our camp. When we got there, they were already dead. The bear's face and arms were red with the blood of my family and friends. Sibylla was frozen in place as the weight of the loss hit her. Before I could say, do anything, the grizzly tore her open from chin to belly with one swipe of its claws. I felt a white-hot rage rise up inside of me, and something primal emerged, and I attacked that grizzly with my bare hands, trying to tear its jaws apart. I wanted to rip it in half. I succeeded in getting bitten, and pretty bad too. It almost ripped my hand off. After that, the rage became a frenzy, and I don't know what happened. I woke up a few hours later, lying tangled in the arms of the grizzly. It was dead, with my sword buried in its belly. And I was unarmed. Not a mark. Well, Not where you'd expect it, anyway. My hand that was nearly tore off. But I had this mark, as he looks over at you, Assyria, and pulls his shirt aside again, revealing the sire's mark. I burned the bodies of my family, my friends, and that fucking bear. I walked all night, not sure what to do. Deep down, though, I must have, because my feet carried me to where I knew Melchior lived with his wife, Venora, and his 2 kids, Assyria and Thadrid. Seems someone else also knew where to find them. When I got there, the house was ablaze. There was no way anyone could have survived that inferno. Or so I thought, as he looks at you, Assyria. I watched that house in the woods burn for quite a while. I remember having a strange feeling like someone was watching me. So I left. Took me a couple of weeks, but I managed to make my way to Waterdeep. I used what Melchior had taught me and asked around about Shadow Art, but all I found were dead ends. She's impossible to find unless she wants you to find her. Eventually, she found me. I told her my story. I don't know why, but before I knew it, I was confiding everything in her. She didn't judge me. She hugged me. And somehow I felt safe with her. And get this. She already knew about the mark on my chest. She told me it was a sire mark and it meant that I was special. Chosen by the Raven Queen to be an instrument of power in her court. Didn't really know what that meant. I still don't fully understand it, to be honest, but ever since then, I've worked for Shadowheart. And that's what brought me here to you today. That's what brought me to you 3 years ago. Looking at you, Assyria.
And I at this point kind of like, I've been standing for the entirety of this story. I walk close to him, but I don't like reach out my hands. All I do is like I sit down like cross-legged in front of him. And I just like, Teera would just kind of like rub her face and like look at him and look in his eyes. And like for the first time, she's sort of searching his features. Does he have like features of my parents, or does he have features he shares with me? Like, is it pretty stark now that he is who he says he is?
There was no context when you were up close and you were dressing his wounds. So you didn't notice anything. Plus, as you know, when you're that close and you can't take in the whole picture of somebody, it can be difficult. Right. But you've had several minutes while he's been talking. And I would say the thing that stood out to you the most is while he was talking, he reminds you of when Melina would tell stories around the fire. The same sort of cadence even though he was young when they left, he still seemed to sort of retain that part of her.
Okay. I just look at him And I kind of like, I shrug and I'm just like, so what now?
Guess that depends on what you want to do. You're the one that had your sword. He kind of glances down on the ground next to you. Well, that's sword. In my throat. She's not happy with me at all. And, well, Shadowheart's not going to just let me go.
What's she doing with the chosen? I think you called them.
I don't know what she's doing. Been working for her for better part of 6 years. I'm a bounty hunter. She sends me out after people she thinks might be the blood of the chosen. I bring in the bounties, and I don't ask questions.
I look at him and I'm just like, I am not walking away from you. And I kind of get I lean in a little bit closer and I'm like, I don't care what Assyria says. You are staying with us.
What about when she comes looking?
We handle that when it comes. We talk to her. She knows your story, you said. She knows.
She knows everything about me.
Then she knows me.
She knows a lot about all of you. I'm a bounty hunter. She's got spies everywhere.
Let her come. We'll pay off your debt.
How did
Will
you
do.
come back?
Oh yeah, I was wondering when you was going to ask about that.
I didn't really want to interrupt family business.
As much
for the
time
first
as
time, I sort of give Assyria just a little bit of a dirty look.
as much time as I spent with Melchior, we're practically family, Assyria.
No,
Well,
they're not.
you got to get pretty intimate to drive a sword through somebody's heart. That's got to be some kind of a bond.
Hmm.
I keep forgetting you're new. This, right here. This is just tapping that mark on his chest.
Mm-hmm.
This is why you couldn't kill me.
I don't like him.
Mizya!
And why don't you start by actually saying the truth, which was you did threaten Soren, as I recall, because I never strike without reason to. You wanted me to stay where I was while you slit his throat.
Thought I could scare you into giving up the
Yeah.
wolf.
Sure.
If I killed that wolf right there, that'd be the end of me. He's a bounty. Shadowheart wants him.
I figured.
And after I told her about you, she wants you too.
I figured. The whole
What?
prisoner bit, at least.
once she learned that my sister was involved in all this, she's got a vested interest in you as well, and I don't know why.
Doesn't make any sense. She's a fucking werewolf. I'm nobody.
And
That's
I'm
not true.
a werebear.
And I'm nobody.
You and I share the same blood, Teera. That makes you interesting in Shadowheart's eyes.
And I just kind of shake my head, and so I'm still sitting. And I just I almost like don't even reach out, but I just like put my elbow sort of on my knee, and I kind of like hold out my hand. And I look at him, and I'm just like, I am so sorry. Please. You are my brother. Please forgive me.
Make a persuasion check. Advantage.
Is it a 20? Yes!
Nat 20.
So good.
Kane looks over at you. And you can see, especially when somebody's holding back powerful emotion and you see them just clenching their jaw, you can see his jaws clenching and unclenching. And he sort of tucks one leg, pulls one leg in, kind of tucks it underneath him. And he looks away for a minute. God damn it. And he just pushes forward and kind of falls into your arms.
And I just I squeeze him as hard as I can, and I might be freaking hurting him, but I don't care. I'm just freaking Teera kind of buries her face in his shoulder, so you guys can just barely hear it, but she is sobbing.
He doesn't even wince. There you go. During all of this is essentially for all of you that it may be relevant for, a short rest.
Mm-hmm.
And he, as you hug him, he is much better than he was an hour ago for somebody who looked like he was on death's door. And he doesn't even seem to mind and he hugs you back. I didn't think I'd ever see you again.
Me neither.
I was afraid she was going to ask me to kill you.
And I kind of pull back, and I'm like, you think you could have if you wanted to, boy?
Don't know. You look like you were 10 seconds away from removing my head.
I sure as shit would have.
And he kind of sits back up from you, and as you say that, he just kind of takes both of your shoulders, and you can feel, he may be your little brother, but he's a grown man now. And you feel the muscles as he kind of firmly holds your shoulders, and he says, and I'd have let you if she'd asked me to kill you.
And I kind of pull him in again, not quite as hard this time, but I just pull him in and I just sort of like, Teera's taking deep breaths. Almost, they feel almost deeper than any breath she's taken in like almost years. And then eventually she just kind of turns around and like, well, what you're looking at? We have some business, yeah?
Yes, well, I didn't want to intrude, but it's probably best that we be on our way.
I look over at Torn. I'm like, you're coming with us.
He looks over your shoulder. He kind of stands up and, dusts himself off a bit. And he's looking at Vorn and then Mizya, and then he looks very pointedly at Assyria. Not so sure your friends want me to come along.
I turn and I'm like, I turn specifically more to Assyria. I'm
We
like,
can talk about this once we're out of here. We came here for a thing. We don't really know this area that well, and the longer we linger, the more likely we're going to be stuck here for a night. So let's get here what we came here for. Get out of here, get back to Doc. Doc's okay, right? And she's looking at Misha at this point, like, and Vorn, like, he's okay, right?
Mizya and Vorn, you did not see Doc before you went through the shadow crossing.
Jesus
Wonderful.
no! He's dead!
Well, all the more reason we need to get this thing as quickly as possible and get back.
What are you even looking for? If
You
it's
don't-
okay if I ask.
It's not. Why don't you focus on healing up?
I'm fine. You'll find
It's
that
a-
our
it's
kind
a-
heal quickly.
It's an artifact. We'll know it when we see it.
Be careful with what you're saying, because remember, who he's serving is also looking for something here. What if it's the same item?
Why do you think she's looking for something here?
You mentioned it.
You? You're the whole reason I came here in the first place.
Huh.
The shadow crossing was just a bonus. Shadowheart told me that this makes us chosen by the Raven Queen. You know where we are, right?
I do know.
Do you know whose domain this is?
I do.
And he looks at you, Teera. The Shadowfell is the Raven Queen's home.
I know that. I heard a ghost story or two in my time. We should hurry. We're looking for a church key. It's not
Did you
the
know
living
that? He
thing.
rolled a 19 on insight. Did you actually know that?
Absolutely. I mean, like little kids talk about the Shadowfell, like, and they talk about it like it's not a real place, but like I imagine it's almost like a ghost story, like freaking Candyman, like Bloody Mary, like
Yeah.
all kinds of scary things about the Shadowfell. So like
Raven
Teera
Queen,
doesn't
Raven
really
Queen,
know.
Raven Queen.
Raven
Yeah.
Queen, exactly. It's like we don't ever really think of it as like pith, but it's like, yeah, the tales.
So I understand why you've got a Syrian and a wolf with you. And I understand why you've got the orc kid over here. Why do you have an old elf with you?
It's just family.
Oh. I'll hurt you if I have to, young one.
So
No
help me God, I will
disrespect.
put you over my knee.
No disrespect meant, but just found it kind of odd. Everybody here seems to be, in some way, shape, or form, a part of a warrior class, and
Oh,
as near as I can tell, you're a chronicler?
Magic missile
Mizya.
at his feet. Like the dirt
Whoa.
around his feet.
Dance! Pew, 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 pew!
Listen,
Make
all
an
you need to do is
intimidation roll.
all you need to do is give Mizya some mimosas, and you
Can
have
I can
a
I
fighter
aid
on your
can I
hands.
aid by just
I'm
kind of
gonna-
like raising my eyebrows and being
Add-
like, Mizzy has saved my ass more than once.
Mizya, in addition to your intimidation, I want you to add your spellcasting modifier to that.
So this would be a
Oh.
16 then.
Okay, I'm gonna see. We're gonna
Oh.
see if he's intimidated. But he rolled a 2. He straight up drops down, like he kind of falls backwards and like crab crawls backwards away from it. Sorry. More than a scribe. And then he kind of looks at you, Teera. You didn't tell me they were a fucking wizard.
I tried, but you wouldn't let me get the word in edgewise, and I like help him up.
And I think that's where we're gonna take a break. I think we're actually over for where we
Wow.
normally take a break, right? No, wait.
Mhm.
Yeah. Sorry.
Yeah.
See,
Yeah,
I told
all
you
right.
I was
About
all
an hour.
discombobulated. I'm not used to. Whoops! I keep hitting the wrong buttons too. I'm not used to Dwight not whining about needing a break already.
Wow.
Just kidding.
Wow.
Love
Shots
you,
fired.
buddy. All right.
It's hot.
All right.
So hot.
Well,
It's so hot.
we're going to go ahead and take about a 10-minute break. We will be back in just a few moments. Please stick around. There's more Scribes and Scrolls coming up on the other side of the break.
Tell him we say hello.
And we're back.
Hey.
All right. Well, here we all are standing in the Shadowfell. We've just had a good family reunion.
Did we?
Very, very good.
Well, Teera seemed
Good.
to.
Yeah, I mean, that was great. Yeah, you're fucking fine. It's not your family. Okay.
And Mizya,
Well,
and
saying I am.
Mizya just shot a
Yeah.
magic
Warning
missile at his
shot.
feet when he called them an old elf.
Mm-hmm. Well, okay.
Who you call an elf?
Call-
That's a golden girl.
I kind of help Torin up, and I just kind of look around, and after Asteria and he have their little conversation, like, all right, well, we're together until we're out of here, at least, yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
And I just kind of start looking. I'm like, so it said it was in what was the word?
Mausoleum.
Mausoleum.
Which there's been a
What's that?
mausoleum like less than 100 feet
It's
away from you this whole
Right
time.
there.
That's a mausoleum?
Yeah.
Oh. All right. Well, and there it is. Yeah.
Hopefully.
All right. And
That's-
I start. Yeah. I start walking.
Keen just kind of looks over at Assyria. That you didn't want to tell me that?
Sarah just walks.
As you're walking over there, you know, it's only a couple minutes, couple moments of walking, but he just kind of calls over to you. I imagine he's like a good 15, 20 feet away from you. I can help you, you know. Know what you're going through.
Talking to Assyria or me?
Assyria.
That's what I thought.
Sarah doesn't answer.
Fair enough. All right, so y'all are just heading for the front door of the mausoleum.
Mm-hmm.
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 Sarah's keeping an eye out, even though she is probably everyone has picked up. She is pissed, but she is still trying her very best to embody what her father has taught her, which is stick to the mission. So she's going to be on the lookout, though, just in case more of those skellies show up.
He
All right.
told your ass stick to the mission, and you never expected that he might be a spy. Stick to the
Well,
mission. Don't get caught. But by the way, just a hunter. It's fine.
Shut up.
So go ahead, everybody, as you're approaching, go ahead and make perception checks. Like, go ahead and
Assyria's
ready
very
here.
pissed.
I am distracted. I got an 11. Double digits.
All right,
Slightly higher than average.
I need to fix Vorn a second because.
Soren is
15
hyper
there, yep.
vigilant.
All right, I got your 15.
Soren got 21.
Okay.
But Assyria
Whoa.
is blistering mad.
Vorn. Let's see how Vorn does. Oh, Vorn gets a 13.
Ooh.
Damn.
Mizya
He
got a
must have his
15.
perception
Soren
goggles.
got a high number as well.
21.
What did Assyria get?
I got 1. I'm very mad.
Let's see how Kane does, just so you can show you all up. Yeah, with a 6. No, he's paying attention to you, Assyria. Just trying to
That's fair.
look.
She might kill
Just
him.
trying to help. If you
Mhm.
got any questions, I
As
can
I
answer
said
them.
before, let's focus on this first, and then when we get out of here, we can deal with it. I'd rather not be stuck in the Shadowfell all night. So,
You do know that we are stuck here all night, yeah?
listen, you saying it doesn't make it any better, all right?
Fair enough. Mizya. This is
Yes.
partially Mizya and partially Dwight. Your passive perception, you notice that as you're walking, like rats scurrying away, you just see crawling claws skittering behind tombstones and in and out of gravestones.
I feel like I shouldn't like these things. Something tells me they're bad.
You would be correct.
Soren is hackles raised
Ooh.
as you get closer to the mausoleum. Hackles are raised and you begin to hear and you see Assyria as Soren physically changes his posture into that of a stalking wolf.
What is it?
You see that and I would say with your 15 Mizya, not only are these crawling claws scurrying away from you, you see several of them scurry out the entrance of the mausoleum, which is about maybe 15 feet away from you. And that's where Soren's attention is focused. Suddenly, you hear from inside the mausoleum, this voice calls out, "You would defile the family of Lord Brentifax! For that you will pay!" And
Well,
a spectral warrior comes running out of the door, followed by a very large shadow hound. And I need you all to roll for initiative.
oh, there it is. There it is, baby. Oh, God, I always suck at initiative. I'm cursed.
All right, I will grab those numbers from you in just a moment. So let me see. Vorn initiative. Let's see how he does on that. Oh, wow. Vorn rolled
Look at
a
what Doc is doing.
dirty 20. Waiting.
He's
That's what
waiting.
Doc is doing. Mizya, you got a 21. Teera.
Got a 7.
Okay.
7.
Assyria.
Dirty 20.
What's your dex is pretty high, isn't it?
Yeah, it's a +4.
Okay.
Oh.
Ah, a very dexty.
And then I need to roll for Kane. All right. Where's Kane? Here we go. Okay, Mizya, it looks like you. Oh wait, I forgot my bad guys here. Okay,
They don't
Mizya,
have to go.
you are first, followed by Assyria,
Wonderful.
followed by Vorn, followed by this guy. Wait, no, followed by Kane. Then this guy. Then Teera, you will go. All right, Mizya. This warrior, this sort of ghostly spectral warrior, comes charging out of this space, brandishing a longsword and has a bow strung across its back. As it comes charging at you, you notice that the armor that it is wearing is a sort of shadowy, ghostly twin to the armor that Vorn is now wearing. The armor of Lord Brantifax.
Going before it then?
Yep, you
Okay.
are up.
So yeah, I see this thing come charging out, and I will pull out my quill and I will cast Mage Armor as I step behind and place Vorn and Teera between me and this thing.
That's fair. That's fair. Meat shield.
Sure.
Shield.
Assyria, you and Soren are up.
All right. Assyria is going to Hunter's Mark. The
Mark,
Ghost.
Hunter's Mark.
Hunter's Mark. That is making its way over. So her eyes will suddenly flare up. And little bits of leaves will kind of surround her for a second as she casts. And she's going to go ahead and make an attack.
Nice.
With her, she's going to go in with her longsword. How far away is he?
The door was only 15 feet away and he came
Yeah.
charging out. So
Perfect. She's
yeah.
going to use that longsword and make an attack. That's going to be a 21 to hit.
That is going to hit.
Okay. And that is going to be sorry, math is hard when it's been a minute since you've done it. That is going to be 14 points of damage.
Okay.
As she comes swinging in.
He's-
And then
It needs to make a Constitution saving throw.
okay. 11.
As you strike him, shadow wisps seem to cling to your blade and work their way towards your hand, and you take 1 point of necrotic damage.
Oof. Okay. Ow. And I think at that, you said there was a shadow hound?
Yep.
Soren's going to go for the shadow hound. So let's make this attack. That is going to be a 17 to hit.
That is a hit.
Okay. And she's getting.
Oh no! My dice!
My dice, they're
They're
broken.
broken!
That is going to be 8 points of piercing damage, and I need it to make a strength savings throw or be knocked prone.
Stock it.
Okay, perfect. And while I'm doing that, you can make a con save for Soren.
Oh.
Strength saving throw is a 12.
The good news
Okay,
is
he
if
makes
Soren dies, then the source of this tension will be gone.
No,
Okay.
Wow.
That's
would
fine.
not.
That's fine.
Wow.
Way to blame it on my wolf.
Yeah.
That's going to be a 17 for a con save.
Okay. 2 points of necrotic damage to Soren.
Got it. All right, and that's it for me.
All right. Vorn is up.
Cari.
Vorn is
Love you, Cari.
And I'm done.
Vorn is going to, of course, go charging in with his axe. With his great axe. That is going... Oh, no, wait. He's been using his book flail.
Yes, he has.
So I think he would use that as he comes charging in. And yeah, you hear that. And that is a power 7 on the die, but 14 total.
Nice.
Which just hits the AC.
Ooh.
So Vorn needs to roll damage. Vorn does 7 points of damage. Vorn needs to make a con saving throw. Vorn gets a 9. So Vorn takes 3 points of necrotic damage as the same shadow energy wraps around the chain to his hand, and you can hear this almost audible as it burns into him. Let's see. Who goes next? Oh, Kane.
Let's go, bro.
Kane is going to seeing Soren deal with this. I think Teera, you suddenly see as Kane steps up onto just a few feet away from you, steps up onto one of the tombstones, and you can see that he reaches back and he just pulls 2 javelins out.
Oh,
And just while he's in the air, he chucks one at the Shadow Mastiff, which
God.
is a 19 to hit.
oh,
And with his second attack, he releases the second one for a 22 to hit
bro.
the leader. So
He's like a shortstop turning a double play, freaking flying. Phew.
sports.
What a badass.
I agree. He does 8 points. He does 8 points of damage to the Shadow Mastiff.
I'll send you footage later.
And he does 6 points of damage to Lord Brentifax. So that's 20. Okay. Did I say 6? Okay, got it. And then he just sort of lands in the dirt, and he's already preparing to draw his sword for continued actions on his turn. But that would then take us to Lord Brentifax. Teera. Nope. Assyria.
Oh,
He's engaged with you.
okay.
Assyria, he is going to swing that long sword. That's a 19 on the die.
Hits.
That's going to be a 23. As he strikes you, he brings his sword back to hit. And as he does so, you see him sort of bring it back with one hand, and then he reaches out and grabs at you, and that's what he hits you with, is his hand.
Oof.
You are going to immediately take 8 points of necrotic damage, and I need you to make a Constitution saving throw.
Oh, come on, dude. Come on.
That's cocked. 9.
You also, your hit point maximum is reduced by 8 points.
Ooh.
Okay.
As he has just life drained you.
Got it.
Teera.
Okay. I guess I want to fly up there too. I want to sort of be like next to Assyria, but hitting him as well if I can scooch my way in there.
Yep. It's getting crowded, but you can get in there.
I would like to rage.
Hey.
As good a time to use it as any. Here we go. And I'm gonna go ahead and believe it or not, I don't play legit barbarians very often, and I kind of forget how rage works. So if I do something wrong, tell me, please. Here I go. I'm gonna swing at it with my greatsword. That
Wait.
is 21 to hit him.
Yep.
And
So, one of the things you can do is you can choose to attack recklessly.
Okay.
You don't
You get
have
a
to.
range bonus
just-
too.
Okay.
Choosing to attack recklessly gives you advantage on the attack.
Okay.
But the
So
next attack
that one-
against you has advantage.
Right. So that one was straight up. So I'm just gonna go with it. And then so I'm gonna just damage. Here I go. That's 9 points of damage on him.
Did you add your rage bonus of 2?
That is 11 points of damage
Okay.
on him. And then can I frenzy for another attack? Is that how that works? Or does it have to wait till next turn?
You only have one attack.
Correct. But it says while in frenzy, you can make a single melee weapon attack as a bonus. So it's next turn.
Right.
Because I already raged
Yep.
as my
You
bonus.
use your
action.
bonus
Aha!
action to rage.
That's how this game works.
Yep.
Thank you. Perfect.
All right.
I am done. Ugh! I get in there and I give him a good chop.
All right. Brarn the Shadow Mastiff is going to attack Soren, who is attacking him.
my
Mhm.
God.
That is going to be a 13 to hit Soren.
Misses.
Okay. There's just this sort of where you would expect saliva and foam as this thing bites. It just looks like shadow is spilling out of its mouth as it attempts to bite at Soren's throat, and fails to do so, which brings us back to Mizya.
Hey.
I'm going to need Lord Brentifax to make a DC 13 intelligence check, and I would like you to roll at disadvantage, please. However many of those thingies up there that cost me.
I don't remember.
Think you can make me roll at disadvantage. That's not one
I
of the
can't just make you re-roll.
Yeah.
Yeah, you
Well, just
can.
know that if you roll above a 13, I'm going to make you.
Okay.
I think it's
Re-roll.
is
So-
it 3 to make the DM re-roll?
I don't
it's
even
all
remember
five.
our
Five.
own rules. I think
Five.
it's
It's five.
5 to
Five.
make me re-roll. So.
Yeah.
All right,
Okay.
so DC 13 intelligence save is a 16. So you're going to
Okay.
spend 5 tomes.
Spend 5 to re-roll that.
Woo!
Big spender. That is a critical fail.
Oh! A natural
So-
1.
Kind of from behind the group here, I'm standing. I think at this point, since everybody's kind of engaged, I'm several spaces back. But I just reach out with my quill, and it kind of crackles with this, like it flashes purple and white energy that crackles out at Lord Brandifax, and just he's just kind of like envelops him in this wave of energy. He is going to take 9 points of psychic damage. He cannot take a reaction until the end of its next turn. And on his next turn, he has to choose between move, action, or bonus action. You only get one of those 3.
All right, so 9 points,
Oh
you said?
Mm-hmm.
God.
Hold on a second.
Nice.
Wow.
I look over at what's his name?
Florin.
Old elf, my ass.
Yes, dude.
Nice.
Snaps.
So, sorry, and you said he can only take an action, reaction, or bonus action, correct?
Oh, he can only take. He can move. He can't take a reaction until after his next turn. And on his next turn, he can only take a move, an action, or a bonus action.
Did you cast slow on him?
No, it's Tasha's mind whip.
Yeah, that thing's
Wow.
nasty.
Lesser slow.
Whip it good.
Yeah.
Okay.
You can whip it.
Whip it good.
Whip
It's
it
not too
real
late.
good.
Okay, so that takes us to Assyria.
Baby,
Sure.
baby.
Sure. Sarah's gonna. Oh boy, that hurt. She's gonna make another attack. Not.
Assyria says out loud, "Oh boy, that hurt."
Yeah. She was already
Ow.
mad, so
Ow.
she's like,
Oh.
this is not helping.
Does Assyria rage?
No. Not that I know of. But she's gonna go ahead and make another attack. Listen, we need to talk. It's a 1. We need to talk. You're going in the dice jail.
So
So-
you are saved because of Mizya's spell.
Thank you, Mizya.
Because normally in melee range, if you crit fail, you open yourself up to an opportunity attack.
Yep.
Which takes a reaction.
Thank you, Mizya. Yeah, that was a 1. Cool. Great.
All
So you basically just see Asteria swing and just whiff completely.
You end up hitting one of the nearby gravestones, just a shower of sparks.
Oh. Ching.
Ching. Sorn is gonna go ahead and make another attack on the Shadow Hound.
All right.
That's better. Okay. That is going to be a 18 to hit.
Yeah, that's a hit.
Okay.
I'm also just
And-
realizing, Teera, you struck at him and hit him and needed to make a con save.
Oh, whoops.
That was my bad, not yours.
You want me to do that right now
Yes,
or not do
please.
it at all? Okay.
5 points of piercing damage, and again needs to make another strength save.
All right. And Soren needs to make a con save. Strength
Got a
save.
9.
So good.
Strength save is 16.
Okay.
No, wait.
Succeed.
Sorry. 13.
Succeeds, so it's
Okay.
not knock prone. And Soren made a 19 for his con save.
Okay. 2 points of necrotic damage.
Okay.
Teera, you got a what?
A 9 on my con save.
9.
You take.
Oh, actually, sorry, I lied. An 11.
Okay. You take 6 points of necrotic damage.
Ah.
And that's it for Soren and I.
Okay. Which takes us to Vorn, who is. Where did Vorn's sheet go? Why do I have Teera open?
Yeah, why do you have Teera open?
No,
Oh,
because
probably because I asked for help with my rage.
Yeah, that's
that's
why.
okay. Not suspicious. It's fine.
Why, oh, why do I have your character open?
why?
Vorn is going to. What's his passive perception? Okay, so Vorn, who's wearing his fighting goggles up close, just looks at the other two of you that are up close, and you just hear him say, "You're barely hurting it," as he swings his flail round again. He rolls a 22 with his flail. Rolls max damage of 13,
Wow.
which I gotta check something. Where did he go? So, Lord Brentifax had 32 hit points.
Oof.
Vorn just did hit points of damage. Sorry.
Oh.
And Vorn just did 13, which brings a total of 45, which was exactly what he had. As he says, "You're barely hurting him," and you hear, and the book flail comes around and just embeds itself into the side of his head. And with this book flail embedded in the side of his head, you see as the shadow just begins leaking out of him, and he's starting to drain and become more transparent. And he turns, and the chain on the end of this flail gets a little bit taut as he looks at Vorn, and he says, "Thank you." And The
Oh.
shadow spills out of him, and he
Whoa.
just dissipates into nothingness. And Vorn's flail just goes, shoo, and you hear the sound of the chain as it drops to the end.
Wow.
Wow.
Fucking Ricky.
That was Vorn.
Not even here when he gets
Yeah,
Could've
not
been-
even here
Yeah.
for it either.
Somebody text Ricky. Tell him he was great tonight. God damn it.
Kane was in the process of drawing his longsword and rushes up, leaping off of this tombstone, and sort of as he lands, he kind of moves into this sort of power slide on his knees, and with two hands
Cool.
shoves the longsword at the Shadow Mastiff. It's a 15 total, which is enough to hit it. So Kane is going to do 11 points of damage.
Woo, what a strong boy.
So let me just double check something though.
Somebody been drinking his milk. Let's go. So strong, yeah.
Okay. He slides it into the Shadow Mastiff and sort of draws it back. And then he kind of looks over at Soren and looks back at the Shadow Mastiff that just goes, "Grrrr." It's not dead, as he stands up and he takes the sword and for a second attack, tries to drive it down into the Shadow Mastiff. That is going to be a dirty 20 to hit.
Nice. Nice.
He only does 6 points of damage,
But
and it's still not dead. And he just, why won't this thing die?
amazing.
And then he calls out to you, Teera, and he says, if you've got anything magical, hit it with that.
Okay. I sure will. And that's all I react.
It's your turn.
Oh, well then.
Make
Okay.
Nope, never mind. Just
All right.
do what
Can't
you're
do.
gonna do.
I want to hit it. I want to hit it with my sword. Here I go. That's an 18 to hit him.
That's a hit.
That is 8 points of damage.
You deal 4 points of damage as you see your sword cut into it and seem to move halfway through the shadow before you feel resistance.
Okay. I have one more attack because I'm frenzied.
Okay.
I will attack him. That is 17 to hit.
Yep.
All right. And that's a little bit better. That is 13 points of damage.
13 points of damage is exactly 1 point. Well, it's 1 point over what you need.
Oh,
Nice.
So
Okay.
how do you
I thought you were about to
finish?
say under.
How do you end this?
I'll be like, magic weapons. All right. And I just freaking like bash this thing like skyward with the first blow. And like you just see like shadows shooting almost like a geyser. And then like with a reverse grip, she comes back and just wham down like into where the head of this thing would be. And I imagine kind of goes right through it in a sense and goes like tink on the stone.
And just like that, the shadow seems to sort of melt away. You hear this faint howling sound, as if it were giving one last howl, as it fades away into nothingness.
Oof.
You've killed Lord Brentifax and his dog Brarn. Their ghosts. You're out of combat.
Ooh.
Well,
All right. I just got to say, I apologize for calling you old. You are very capable.
Yes, I'm aware.
That's their way of saying thank you. Let's go. We got a turtle to find. I mean, a knick-knack. Tchotchke.
Turtle?
Syria.
Sarah just steps forward.
It's a turtle. It's a tortoise made out of jade, I guess. That's what we're looking for.
You came into the Shadowfell for a turtle statue.
It's more important than just that. We were sent for it. It's part of our mission.
Right. I'm in no position to judge you on your actions.
Mm-hmm.
Do a lot of it for someone not in that position.
Fair enough.
Serious.
I give a
Serious
dirty
stifling a laugh.
I give a dirty look to Mizya, and then another when I hear Assyria laughing, a dirty look to her too. And then Teera would just start walking into the
Yep.
mausoleum and just kind of looks around and is like, oh, bunch of fucking talkers.
Right here.
I know. Fucking
Yes.
talker. You talk too much. You drive me crazy. And I just keep walking into the mausoleum.
All right. You head into the mausoleum. As you head into it, it looks like you enter into this sort of main chamber. And you see that there are 3 chambers. There's 2 closed doors, one on either side of you, going to some other chambers. In front of you is a door that is askew and partially open, and beyond that you can see what appears to be a partially crumbled sarcophagus.
Well, that doesn't look ominous.
Yeah, you're right. It sure does. Well, who's gonna walk up there? It's probably trapped to shit. Vaughn, can you look for traps? Syria?
Sure. Assyria will take a second to try and look around for some traps, investigate.
Vorn also investigates, switching out his lenses or his goggles.
Trap finding.
Trap finding goggles.
Trap finding goggles.
And begins to look around. Go ahead and roll investigation, Syria.
Much better. See? Look at what some time in the dice jail did for you. So much better.
Reform.
You reformed. Investigation. That is going to be a 22.
You are 100% sure there are no traps.
All right. I think we're good.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. Vorn says.
Mm-hmm.
What did he roll? Just
You
out
rolled
of
16,
curiosity.
actually.
Oh, okay. Oh, good boy. All right.
Okay.
Nice job.
It's good to have more than one set of eyes.
You're
I got
correct.
4.
Mm. That was funny, Vaughn.
I laugh as well.
Sarah will step forward towards the sarcophagus.
All right.
Be careful still.
As you step toward it,
Dang
you
it.
recall that Vanique, or rather Madrina, I think was her name, said that Vanique told them that that she hid it in the sarcophagus inside the Shadowfell, near the bottom in a false panel.
Ooh.
Near the bottom
Very
edge,
specific.
not inside the bottom, but along the
Right.
bottom
The
edge.
bottom. Oh, okay.
Yep. So, Asaria, remembering that, will search.
You begin searching along the edge, and as you get to the right-hand corner, part of the carving on the corner, you feel it go click. And as you release it, a section of it kind of pops out and is able to freely move. And just inside, you catch a glimpse of a dirty leather pouch.
She'll carefully take it out.
I imagine the rest of us are like that other guy in the first scene of Raiders of the Lost Ark. They're like,
You mean Doc Ock?
no. Well, is it?
Yeah, it's Doc Ock.
No.
Is it
Alfred Molina,
really?
Yep.
Yeah, it's Alfred Molina.
No.
100%.
Wow. Movie fun facts brought to you by
Whoa.
Jake Norman. Scribes
I
and
didn't
Scrolls
know
Candlekeep
that.
Mysteries here on Mini Terrain Domain.
I didn't know that.
That's awesome. What a great fact.
I got tons of them. Well, they come out every once in a while when
But not
somebody
enough.
finds them useful.
Yeah. Anywho.
Yeah, so
Amazing.
you reach in and you pull out this this bag, this leather sack, and as you do so, you feel something shift just inside and behind it. And there's another package that is wrapped up.
Ooh.
Sarah will go for it.
Okay. You're able to pull it out. This one's wrapped in sort of a dirty cheesecloth.
Okay. She will carefully undo the cloth.
Right, as you unwrap that, you see what this looks like. It's about 6 inches tall. It's a humanoid type figure, but with a demonic head,
Okay.
cloven hooves, and legs of like a goat. In its left hand, it holds the severed heads of its victims. In the right hand, it holds a wicked-looking wand or scepter with a skull on it, and large stone wings splay out from behind it.
Okay.
The material that it is made from has this sort of weird texture to it. It's not like it's stone, but it looks like something else. Like there's like something porous about it.
All right. And that's going back where I found it.
Oi, Syria, is it in there or not?
Yeah, I got it. Hang on.
Make a wisdom saving throw.
Oh, dang it.
Yes.
No.
Yes.
No.
A new hand touches the beacon.
All right. Wisdom save.
Yep.
Okay. 14. Oh,
And you feel compelled to not leave it behind
Okay.
as you hear some indiscriminate dark whispering coming from it.
Oh,
Alright.
God. Assyria's going to kill everybody.
She's gonna carefully tuck in her bag so nobody sees. And kind of,
Are you trying to
Raise
keep it hidden from everybody else?
yeah.
Make a stealth check or sleight of hand check.
Okay.
Everybody else roll. I'll say not perception. I'll say roll your stealth check, and I want to know what everybody's passive
Stealth or
is.
sleight of hand? Which
Sorry,
one?
sleight of hand.
Okay. 'Cause stealth is way better.
You're trying to palm this.
So sleight of hand, it's a 21.
Shit.
Nope. Keen doesn't notice that. Anybody
With
got a
passive?
21? Yeah, 21 or higher
No.
passive perception.
No.
Then
Wonderful.
you successfully slide it into a pocket without anybody seeing as you turn around holding the other pouch.
There we go.
Did you look inside that one?
I'll look into it now.
Inside is a beautiful jade tortoise with gold inlay.
Perfect. See? We
Is that it?
Yep, that's it.
Is the Syria like walking over to us by now? Is she over to us?
This is walking.
And I kind of like, I want to like hold my hand out. I'm like, can I see it?
Sure. And she'll.
I want to look at it. I'm like, oh, that's pretty. Mizya, would you look at that?
Yes, that appears to be what we are looking for.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Vaughn, isn't it pretty?
I don't think he
guess.
has his glasses to look properly at it on.
I don't have my appraising goggles on,
Yeah.
but
That's nice.
Oh, yeah, you go, Syria. Good job.
Thank you.
the whole time Keen's just kind of going,
Oh, there you go, brother. Look at it.
it's a turtle.
Yeah, I know. There you go, Syria.
Or is it a tortoise?
I don't know. the
Actually, that's a
difference.
tortoise, I think.
Yeah. I don't know the difference.
All right,
But
now we've got it, and we're stuck here for the night.
we don't know that we're stuck here for the night. Let's go try to get home.
Oh,
If
no,
it rejects us.
we're stuck here for the night.
How do you know that?
It's the Shadowfell.
Oh.
Shadow crossings only work in the morning. At dawn.
We gotta
It's when
wait.
the veil weakens between the Shadowfell and the material plane.
Well, all right. And I kind of look around at this and I'm like, this seems as good a place to make camp as any.
Sure.
Nothing going to sneak up on us in here.
Sure.
We can
Yeah.
just guard the door.
Looks good.
Mhm.
Kane walks over to one of the two closed doors and just kind of leans up against one of them.
Mhm.
Don't hear anything.
Nope.
I go to the other one and I just sort of like put my ear and I listen. Do I hear anything?
Make a perception check.
Oh God, oh God,
Oh no.
Perception check is a 14.
You hear.
I changed my mind. I don't think we should
As you
camp
turn
here.
around, you realize Kane is standing right behind you, going.
Why could be such a dick?
I turn around and I like punch him on his chest. I'm like, you fucker.
Ah.
Yeah,
Okay.
you had that
Too soon.
coming.
Too soon.
Yeah, you're damn right. I didn't hear nothing.
All
I
right.
think we're safe here. Good position. Nothing's going to sneak up on us. We can watch the door, take shifts,
Mhm.
and get the hell out of here in the morning. Yeah.
All
Mhm.
right. Sounds good to me. All right.
Well, I'm wide awake. I'll take first shift.
Sure.
You mind if I take it with you? I don't imagine the others are going to trust me to take a shift by myself.
Yeah, that's fair.
You'd 100% be correct.
Well, Saria, I'll be with him. You can get some sleep.
Sure. And
I
Saria
want
will.
to insight check Asaria. I want to know if she trusts me. Makes me sad. That's a 14.
What would I roll anything, Jake, or no?
Yeah, if you're trying to. I guess it's up to
Deception, I
you.
would
If you're
suppose.
trying to deceive her,
Yeah.
then roll deception. Or if you're just trying to make it not look like you're whatever, you can also do a performance check.
I'll do both suck. Both are negative. Okay. Looking at Asaria, you can tell that she's conflicted. You can see that she's very irritated at Torin, Kane, whatever the hell his name may be. You don't get the sense that she's mad at Teera. You get the sense that she's actually hurt by Teera. Not exactly with that role, sure what that may necessarily entail, but you can, her behavior and how she's acting is very similar to how when you first met her. Her walls are back up. She's kind of
Shut off.
shut off
Okay.
and guarded. You can even guess by her stature as she's laying down. She intends on closing her eyes, but she's not sleeping. She's going to be awake. But you can kind of sense that, and maybe she's hiding something. You don't know, but there's a lot of things that are going around in this area's head right now.
Teera will remember that.
Mm-hmm.
This is the Telltale Games version of Scribes and Scrolls, everyone.
Right.
Welcome.
You hear the heartbeat.
Fuck off.
Boom, boom, boom.
Stop. Wow, deep cut. All right.
You're guilty, Teera. But Asaria will settle down. And just as I said, Jake, she is going to kind of sit up and lean against the wall and have her eyes shut, but she's not intending on sleeping at all. She does not trust this. Nope.
Okay. How long of a shift are you pulling, Teera?
I would say so we came in here at nightfall, correct?
Uh-huh.
And we have to wait until daybreak to get out. So that's what, 8 hours, something like that?
I would say that you probably only have about 6 to 8 hours.
Okay. I would say we would cover half of it. So 3 to 4 hours. And then I would trust Vorn. I would ask Vorn if he's willing to take a second shift, maybe with Mizya or with Asaria, since she's not sleeping fucking anyway.
Yeah.
And I would ask Vorn, and I just kind of say, "You all right taking a shift with Asaria then? After us?"
Well, and at that point, I know, Mizya, you only rest for like 4 hours, right?
Right, but I'm not saying anything.
Okay.
That's Your diary, day 34.
Do you talk with Kane about anything at all during this
I mean,
period?
yeah, I imagine anything and everything, and I just kind of I shake my head at the kind of the beginning. I imagine there is like a good half hour probably of silence, and we're just kind of like making a little fire maybe, and just sort of like sitting. And I kind of turn to him and I'm like, "Do you mind if I call you Torin? I'm not sure I can call you Kane."
I've been Kane nearly 3 times as long as I was Torin. It's the name I know.
Do you get offended if I call you that, Torin, or?
Nah, makes you feel better. Might take me a
Are you
minute to
mad at-
respond.
Are you mad at me?
I was mad at you for a long time. For years. And I forgot about you. Then I was mad at you all over again. I was really mad at you. How come you never came looking?
I told you, I really did thought, I thought you were dead. I had confidence in you. That's why I sent you off. But after I saw what I saw that day, men, big, brutal things, orcs and men turning each other into puddles of blood, I sent you away, and I regretted it immediately. I thought you'd be fine, and then I have never been more sure that you wouldn't be. But I was 11. I thought that was your best shot. I thought those orcs were going to kill us all.
Yeah, the orcs.
Mm.
Whatever happened with them? Why didn't they kill you?
You wouldn't believe me if I told you.
Teera, one of your mates over there is turning into a werewolf. You've got a mature dark elf, a half orc,
Tira laughs loudly for a second and then like stifles it to be quiet.
and I can turn into a bear. I think you'd be surprised at what I'm willing to believe.
Well, I talked to him in Orcish, believe it or not. I damn near forgot all of it until the last second, and then I just said what Dad told me to say to him if they ever said anything to me. Prosperity and conquest.
As you say that, he says it in Orcish.
And I laugh and I'm like, yeah, that turned out to be more of a boon than I ever thought it would be. They see this little girl, cute as I was, I don't know what the hell happened, but they knew that if I could be a translator for them, they could send me ahead and I'd be a little less threatening than a foursome of orcs coming in on horses. If they ever wanted to trade with people, I was a good middle ground, as it were.
You remind me of him, you know.
Of who?
Dad.
Oh.
You kind of look like him. Except his hair was dark.
Yeah.
Yours. Yellow is the sun. Guess that's why you took that name.
Yeah.
But
That's
yeah,
what the orcs called me, you know.
Dad was always good with the orcs. So, raised by orcs. So, is he your boyfriend then?
No, gods. No. No, 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 no.
He kind of looks over at where Vorn is. I imagine Vorn is out. Just out. Got his sleeping goggles on.
I look over at Vorn one more time and I'm like, no.
Yeah.
No.
Sure. Not even a little bit.
Go fuck yourself. And then I kind of like I look over at him and I just say, if it's any consolation, the years with them for a long time were not kind.
It's not a consolation. I might have been mad at you for years, but never once did I wish anything bad had happened to you. As angry as I got, even in my most violent of rages, my blindest rage, never once allowed myself to think bad things about you. I had to believe to some degree you were out there. Didn't really have much hope for it, but anyway, yes, let's take things a bit slow. Your friends.
Yeah. Asaria's she's a tough nut to crack, you know. She's been through a lot.
She's going to go through a lot more. Couple weeks. Another full moon. It's going to be worse than the first time.
And I look at him and I'm like, is there any way to stop it, any way to control it when it happens?
She's going to have to do it herself. It's going to be her versus herself. No, you can do, or we can do, is try to keep her from hurting herself and each other. Each of you. Because she will be dangerous during that time. Best hope when the full moon comes, you're nowhere near any villages or towns. God forbid in that library. There's a good chance she will kill.
And Teera just kind of shrugs and like, we'll find a way.
Do you have a mark? Have you checked?
No.
You and I have
No.
the same blood.
Oh. Oh shit, I don't know. Give me a second. And I kind of like, I stand
He's
up
like-
and I sort of go, yeah, I want to go around an edge. Like if there's any like pillars or anything that I can go on the other side of. And yeah, Teera strips. I want to look around.
You do not find any marks on yourself.
Good. Oh God. Oh shit. And Teera comes back around and is sort of just putting on her clothes. And I'm like, nope, not on me. And I kind of like hold out my arms, sort of just like presenting myself. I'm like, I told you. Mizya is the smartest person I've ever met. Vorn has his mark of shame and all of his shit. Sarah is a werewolf. I'm a fucking nobody.
You're not a nobody. I'll tell you one thing I do remember. And as glad as I was to see his throat ripped out by orcs, that bandit had wise words.
Mm.
Don't ever let nobody tell you you're not worth nothing. And that includes yourself.
Mm. And I, yeah,
Yeah,
I
so
look at him. I'm like, yeah,
Hmm.
nothing out there. I don't think.
Yeah, and I imagine it just turns into uncomfortable silence for a while as
Yeah.
you carry out your
Big time.
guard shift.
Yep.
And eventually you pass off the guard shift to Vorn and Assyria. Do you wake for a guard shift? Now, you said you weren't sleeping.
Oh yeah, no. Yeah,
This is how
I'm-
serious listening to all this shit.
So,
Uh-huh.
Ah.
I'm well aware I'm going to be taking a point of exhaustion.
yes.
I am
you-
aware of this. I am aware of the consequences of my actions.
Well, are you aware also that this is going to negate you regaining the hit point
Uh-huh.
maximum drop as well?
Oh yeah,
Okay.
believe me, Jordan would love to go to sleep, but Assyria will not. So
Right. Okay.
That's commitment. She earns a point of inspiration, I think. Jesus, that is
Believe me.
commitment to the character.
All right.
Jordan's like, sure,
I-
let's go to bed. Assyria's like, listen,
I have a
I don't
rule.
trust this.
I have a rule as a DM because I am terrible about remembering to give out inspiration. That if somebody at the table or watching says that somebody deserves inspiration, then I will grant you inspiration.
Thank you.
Uh
I'll be exhausted, but
so yeah,
inspired.
you will take a point of exhaustion when morning
Yeah.
comes. Do you do anything in particular, or are you and Vorn just pulling guard duty? I'm not going to have conversations on Vorn's behalf. That's Ricky's position to have that kind of role play.
Mhm.
Well,
If you try to talk to Vorn, he's just like, "What?"
yeah, honestly, probably because Assyria's just seething with so many different emotions right now. Honestly, she probably is asking Vorn about his various goggles that he has and how many of them that there are. That is
Sure.
just like literally that kind of like I need to hear something like the dictionary being read, like just distract.
As the two of them kind of settle in, I will walk up and sit down in the middle of them. So that was something of a day, was it not?
Just a bit. I sure hope Doc's all right.
I also hope the doctor is doing well. Speaking of doing well, Asaria, I can tell you have not slept. Are you sure? I
It's
can either keep you company or I can take your place.
it's very kind, Mizya. But even if you did take my place, I don't think I'm going to be able to fall asleep right now. One, being in the Shadowfell and other beings being around.
Completely understand. So,
But I appreciate
shall we shoot the shit, as they say?
Shoot the shit.
I think literally Asteria was like taking a sip from like her water thing and just spit taked everywhere because just was not expecting that from Mizya.
I picked up an idiom or two in my time.
Sure, we can shoot the shit. Is there something in particular you wanted to talk about, Mizya?
Oh no, I just figured we'd pass the time with a little bit of nothing.
Valid. Well, what are your thoughts about all of this?
I don't like him. I don't like him at all. I understand Teera is connected as their family, but, well, family can stab you in the back as well as the next person.
That's true.
We'll have to keep an eye on him.
For sure. I don't necessarily want him to go away just because I'm going to be looking over my shoulder constantly, and if at least I know where he's at here, it's one thing to worry about. And I understand a little bit about missing family. I'm not going to deny Teera that. But I would hope that she just approaches things a little bit more carefully. I don't want to necessarily take away the vibrancy about life that she has away, but some things need to be guarded.
Again, family can stab you in the back as well as the next person.
Sure.
And the sooner you realize that, the better off you'll be. Yes, it will sting a bit, but you can only trust those who have earned your trust.
For sure. Plus, I feel like group decisions should be made by the group. I know she was trying to be quiet. I could read her lips. I mean, it wasn't very hard to read, but
He's not very good at being quiet either.
Teera is snoring. The usual.
Yeah, well, I think we can give her a pass in this circumstance, given the nature of the reunion. But
Sure.
Agreed. The good of the group must come first.
But I will say, Kane, Torin, whatever he's being called now, did bring up a point that's been kind of heavy on my mind since the forest, and that I'm afraid I'm going to hurt you all, and we don't really have a plan about the next full moon. Our days are literally numbered, and we don't know what that's going to mean. So I don't think we'll come to an answer right now, but on top of our to-do list, with I think, Mizya, you're keeping track of.
I pull out my notebook and I kind of lick my quill.
Oh my
We
god.
should probably start looking into
The Mizya or the Asaria problem.
There we go.
And I'll just kind of show it to her.
Perfect. I couldn't have said it better myself. For sure.
Awesome.
But we should probably start at least brainstorming
Yes,
what we're going to do.
What do you say we get out of this place first?
Sure.
I don't like it here.
And
I don't
Mizya,
either.
as you're keeping careful note of everything, you know that you are just now crossing into the 8th of Myrtle, which means you have 21 full days until the full moon.
Okay. Good to
21
know.
days. 3 weeks.
2 weeks. Week is
2
10
weeks.
days.
That's right.
Yeah, that's true.
You have
I
two
forgot.
10 days
A
and a
10
couple
day
extra.
is a 10 day.
Yep.
I forgot.
21 days. Wow.
Yep, just add it to the
So-
list of things that we need to do.
I would like everybody
I don't like your tone.
I
to
don't like
roll a
this.
wisdom saving throw.
Oh no. Listen,
Oh.
I'm already possessed by an evil doll. Do you really want to do the punk?
Can I spend one tome to do this with advantage, please?
Sure can.
Well, I will
Oh
do the same.
god.
Hey, it wouldn't be a night if I didn't spend a tome. Come on now.
That's cocked.
Didn't help. That's a 7.
Oh, thank God. Oh,
Okay.
one of them was an at 1, the other is an 18. Let's
Oh
go.
god.
Okay. Assyria?
Uh,
Assyria, you're going
yeah.
to do so at disadvantage.
I figured as much.
You're so tired.
I'm so tired. I'm also possessed by an evil doll.
Oh shit, I forgot about that. God no. Oh no.
Okay, well, it was a 20 before, but with that, that's gonna be a 6.
All right. And I'm actually going to, somebody remind me, I need to have Ricky do this before our session next week.
Does Soren need to as well?
Hey,
No.
Jake, don't forget to have Ricky do that before the next session.
Awesome.
Jesus
I won't.
Christ.
Thanks.
I will set an alarm on my phone, Jake. Don't you worry.
Jordan,
Yes.
or rather Assyria and
Yes.
Mizya, roll me a d6.
Oh no.
I don't like this. I don't like this free form shit.
That is a 6.
6.
Oh, okay.
Oh no.
We broke him.
So you are feeling, as morning starts to roll around, the two of you are feeling the weight of the Shadowfell pressing heavily on your spirit.
Ooh, aw.
And it begins to seep into your spirit. You both have Shadowfell despair
Aw.
and are taking on a trait called irrational.
Oh well.
Oh,
And
good.
you
Assyria's been doing that all day.
You have a new flaw that I'm going to message each of you separately.
Oh.
Now, this isn't like
Message.
immediate, like all of a sudden, this is cranked up to 100. But this, think of it as sort of the first stages of this. So now I need each of you to roll a d8.
Oh god.
We're going to see how
Oh,
bad
no.
this irrationality is.
6.
7.
Oh.
Wow.
7? Okay.
Wow.
So I am only going to tell each of you.
Oh.
So, Jordan,
Okay.
Hold on. I got to do this in stages here.
Got
I will message you after the game
it. Got
and
it.
tell you what you have, because this is going to affect you. This is something you are just now learning, is an effect of spending a period of time in the Shadowfell, that it can affect your spirit and your mind, and it may or may not be curable. You'll have to figure that out.
Oh,
Boy.
But eventually, morning does come, and Mizya, you notice that the light has turned from dark shades of black and white to lighter shades of black and white. And everything has this sort of grayish mist, and you see about 30 feet away where those open graves are, you see activity where the shadow seems to coalesce and almost like form into it. And you realize that the shadow crossing is active and you can go home.
Let's go.
All right, you all make your way over there. Who goes in first?
Yeah, I would watch everybody's back.
Okay, Syria and Soren, Vorn,
I would go, yeah. Mhm.
Mizya, and then that leaves Kane and Teera, and Kane just looks over at you and says, all right, and steps into the shadow crossing.
Yeah.
As the two of you step in, we see the scene flips over.
Cool.
The sun has risen outside of Chalet Brantifax, where Doc sits in his cart, looking around.
Waiting for his cue, dude.
Doc, it's been about
God.
it's been close to 8 hours, and you start to hear activity out behind the house. You're muted.
Doc
Oh,
hears the activity and he's kind of shifting in his seat, realizing, I think this seat is filled with straw. It's very uncomfortable and kind of scratchy. It's weird that I never noticed this before. I'm going to have to make a note on that. Perhaps I should replace it with feathers. And then Doc is going to return to the place where the activity is happening.
Doc sits in his
Doc.
cart. Whoa. Looking around. Hold on.
Oh God. Oh, there's something.
Waiting for
There's a thing.
dude.
Hold
Oh,
on. No.
God.
It's been close to 8 hours.
Welcome to
Sorry,
the Shadow
only the
Realm.
audience heard that for some reason. The stream manager unmuted itself, and I could hear my words and Gary's words coming back through.
Oh, geez.
Oh God.
Oh, no.
Yeah, I must have hit a hotkey or something.
Whoops.
Anyway,
Doc.
Hello, Teera.
We missed you.
Okay.
Have you just been sitting on a cot this whole time?
Yes.
And I kind of like what's Torin Kane doing during this? Said that big dude made him nervous.
yeah, he's kind of standing cautiously back from the rest of the group. And then as you all walk up and Doc greets you all, he kind of goes, hey,
And I
the name's Kane.
I pull him up a little bit closer, and I imagine he's looking up at Doc. Doc is freaking huge, and I just like, Doc, this is my brother.
Oh, well, that's an odd place to pick up a brother in the Shadowfell, but stranger things have happened. I can't think of one at this time, but I'm sure it's true. Maybe we should look at the library when we get back. Hello, brother. My name is Doc. At least that's what people call me. It's not technically my name, so far as I know.
Oh,
He just looks very cautiously at you. And then he leans over to Teera. And he just says to you, don't know what it is, but there's something off about that man.
tell me about it.
And that's where we're going to end tonight's session.
Ah! Amazing.
Exhausted.
Amazing.
Wow.
So, yeah, that was
Wow.
that was some big
wowee.
stuff going. In just a few moments, we're going to send you all over to Dreamwish Gen for a raid. So stick around. Yeah, that
Wow.
was a heavy session. But
Wowee.
kudos all around. Gary,
Yes.
man, doing the Lord's work over there in RP.
Gary got
Amazing.
waiting for it, dude. There was no like, is Gary back? Or we went he was freaking waiting, dude. He was ready for his cue.
Amazing.
Yep.
Badass. Badass.
Gary's had the hardest job the last 2 sessions. So, yeah, I just want to say just a huge thank you, as always, to everybody in our audience. Thank you for tuning in. We appreciate that you choose to spend your Monday night with us. We're here every Monday night at 8 p.m. Eastern with Scribes and Scrolls, the Candlekeep Mysteries. So tune in, tell your friends, and if you are one of those people that likes to lurk in the shadows in the background and not participate in chat, thank you. We appreciate you all the same. We're glad you're here. As I said, in just a moment, we are going to raid over to Dreamwisp Jen. Be sure to let them know that Mini Terrain Domain sent you. Be kind and courteous and say hello as you pop in. Tomorrow night, as far as I know, we're on. We return on Dice on Ice RPG to our Curse of Strahd campaign with M as our DM. And then Thursday, we'll be back with Session 2 of the Dawnbringers Season 6 Rime. Wild Beyond the Witchlight. I've been saying Rime of the Frostmaiden for a year. The Wild Beyond the Witchlight. Where I'm not going to spoil it in case, because I just put the VOD up today, but there was quite the reveal at the end of that session.
Oh boy.
Also, before we go, Jordan's got a little something for us.
So on Saturday, I am going to have the lucky pleasure of playing in a game with Obo Lauren, April Raygun, Dustin Fletcher, Angel, and Robo Goblin over on TTRPG Gifts. That is going to be at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, 4 p.m. Pacific. And it's going to be an absolute blast. We are all playing Phoenix Domain cleric types. So it's going to be it's an oops all clerics.
That's niche. That is niche.
It's going to be fantastic, and it's going to be a really great time as well. It's also be raising money for charity. The specific charity I don't have the name for right at this moment. But there will be a Tiltify link, and your donations will be able to impact the game as well. So stay tuned to my Twitters and come hang out on Saturday, because it's going to be a fun time.
Awesome. And if you haven't already, you can come join us in the MTD Discord, where people hang out, chat, look for games, find games, all kinds of fun stuff going on in that community. Before we go, I do just want to say a huge thank you, of course, as always, to these amazing players. I'm so privileged to get to role play with you each week. It's an absolute treat. Thank you, Gary, Jordan, Cari, Dwight, and even though he's not here, Ricky, without whom it would just be me talking to myself for a couple hours. With that, we are going to go ahead and end this stream the same way we end every stream. And you can say it with me if you want.